So let's keep going. So here's another one. We're going to sketch this graph. And again, really, we need two different points on the line. So if I were to ask you this on a quiz if I were to ask you this on an exam, where you have to show your work, what I would be looking for is this. Well, not really so much the graph, because the graph you could just, use Desmos and it does the work for you. So what I would like to see is this. Anyway, so again, I'm choosing, okay, well, we need 2 points on the line. Okay, so let me choose x to be 0. Right? And then we can calculate what y has to be. So when x is 0, right, you replace x by 0, you get 2 times 0, okay? 2 times 0 plus 9y is 12. Well, 2 times 0 is 0, so it's gone. And so we get 9y is 12. So we got to figure out, we have to solve this for y. Sorry, pause, I didn't want to go too fast. So from here, we can easily get y. We divide. We have 9 times y. We want 9 to go away. How do we do that? Divide. We get y equals 12 over 9. And so when x is 0, y is 12 over 9, and we get this thing. We get this point. In other words, this point is on the line, on the graph of this. Cool. Yeah. Okay, well, we need another point. I'm going to take y to be 0. By doing that, the 9y is gone. So we have 2 times x plus 9 times 0 is 12. That's the same thing as this. 2x equals 12. And so from here, we can get x. How do we do that? We divide by 2. We end up with x. You divide both sides by 2, get x equals 6. And so from here, what is this saying? Well, when y is 0, x must be 6. And so this point is on the line. We have 2 points on the line. I mean, if you wanted to sketch this by hand, you could. I probably would figure out what 12 over 9 is using a calculator. It's definitely going to be between 1 and 2. Turns out when you graph it, you get this. As we can see, well, this is what we get. Okay, so we have that example. Now let's do another one. I do have some back examples where you guys get to try this as well. I figured that'd be good. So this one, we have 6x plus 10y is 2. Same story. Same story. We know when x is 0. Well, I'm setting, again, x to be 0. We need 2 points on the line. So let's let x be 0. Okay? I mean, again, you could take x to be anything. We just need 2 points on the line, meaning we need 2 different solutions to the equation. So if we take x to be 0, then what do we get here? We get 6 times 0 plus 10 times y is 2. Right? We're setting x to be 0. We want to figure out, well, what does y have to be? And I chose x to be 0 because the equation now becomes this, which is a little bit easier. So we get 10y is 2. But x is 0. So what does y have to be? We divide. We divide both sides by 10. We get 10y over 10 is 2 over 10. And we get y has to be 2 over 10. Which you can You can write it as 1 over 5. You can write it as a decimal, you know. We get 0, 2 over 10. Beautiful. That's 1 point on the line. We need another one, right? And again, I'm going to choose y to be 0. But again, you could choose y to be anything else. You could choose a different number for x if you want. All we need is 2 different points on the line. So I'm going to choose y to be 0. Doing so, we have 6 times x plus 10 times 0 is 2. From here, we're going to get 6 times x is 2. Right? Because again, if I let y be 0, this part is 0, so it goes away. We get 6 times x is 2. How do we get x? We divide. That is, we divide both sides by 6, as I'm doing. And doing so, we end up with x equals 2 over 6. Which is the same as a third, I know, but again, I didn't really go into reducing fractions into lowest terms. Excuse me, writing it in lowest terms, I mean. So if you wrote it as a third or leave it like this, that's fine. What matters most here is you get another point on the line, as you can see. So we have this point on the line, okay? That tells us that we can get the line, and so the line will look like this. Notice also the slope is negative. How do I know that? Well, if I move to the right horizontally, right, what is the line doing? The line is falling like this. The line is pointing downward. As you move horizontally to the right, walking along the line, so to say, you're going down. So the line has a negative slope. You could even see that if I gave you just the points here, right? Because I go from one point to another. If I go from this point to this point, that is, as x is increasing from 0 to something positive, 2 over 6, y is decreasing. That's just, just something I wanted to point out. Really hope that makes sense. But let's do a backup run. So from here, what I was going to have everyone do now is do the same thing for this example. Basically, not to sketch it so much, but really just to get 2 different points on the line. Okay. So I want everyone to try that out now. Okay, so let's do this together. I also just posted on content, on Blackboard, that is, that, excuse me, the website, Math Power is for you. Again, that site has many videos you can watch. So just letting you know, you have to watch them. No, they're just there, in case you need them. Of course, you're more than welcome to talk to me if you need to, by email or whatever. Okay, so let's do this. So again, we really just want to get 2 different points on the line, right? That's really what we want to know. Okay. So again, I mean, if you chose different numbers than I did, that's fine. I'm not going to mark something wrong if it's right. So, for instance, I said, okay, well, let's take x to be 0. If x is 0, okay, and we substitute, right? So 10 times 0 is 0. And what we end up with is just minus 3y is 15, which is nice, right? And that's nice because if we can easily get y, we just divide both sides by -3. That's what we're dividing both sides by. All right, well, doing so, we end up with y equal to -5. So we have a point on the line, right? And x is 0, y is -5. Okay, y is -5. Good. We get another point on the line, don't we? So again, I chose y to be 0. If you choose something different, that's cool. I mean, that's fine. Okay. So when y is 0, I get 10 times x minus 3 times 0 is 15. 3 times 0 is on. You get 10x equals 15. So to figure out x, we divide. And we get 10x over 10 is 15 over 10. Right? We're divided by 10 because we want x. We don't want 10x, we want x. So we divide, and x becomes 15 over 10, which I know is 3 over 2, but if you leave it as 15 over 10, that's fine. So from here, we get this. So we have 2 points. And that's awesome because you can now graph the line. And also, just looking at these, you should be able to see that, well, the slope is definitely going to be positive. And how do I know that? Well, if we go from this point to this point, where x, the first coordinate, the first number, is getting bigger, the y coordinate, the second, is also getting bigger. It's also getting bigger, right? It's going from negative to 0. So we expect the slope to be positive. And yes, we are right, as you can see. Now again, I am graphing these in, well, GeoGebra or Desmos you can use. But if you need help with those, please email me. I'll be more than happy to help you. They're not hard to use. I mean, Desmos isn't bad. GeoGebra takes a little more work. Though I think I might have put links to them in Lumen. But not too bad, though. All right, so that's one example. Okay, that was fun. Well, let me see. Okay, we're doing good on time, so let's do another one. So let's do another one, okay? So let's see. Here. I want you guys to try this one out as well. So I want everyone to do that now.